Good morning, guys. Today is second demo, right? Yesterday we had a demo on MSBI. So, what exactly we discussed as part of yesterday's session was what is the business intelligence, right? And why do we implement the business intelligence by investing so much of information, so much of amount, so much of time, and then like MSBI tools? Why MSBI? And then to the project what is the duration of MSBI, and then what are the prerequisite for MSBI, and what we are trying to provide as part of MSBI training. So these are all the topics that we discussed in our last session. So I'm just closing that. So of course I have already shared the recording session number. I'll share that with you as well. All right. And in today's session, right, sir, MSBI, I just want to list out the tools and like Microsoft Business Intelligence tools. Come on, what happened? Yes, tools. What are the tools now? SSIS, SQL Server integration services. This is our ETL or else data integration tool as per our previous session. Emma, next one. SSRS, the main motto of this particular tool is to design reports, right? SQL Server, is it visible? Yes. SQL Server reporting services. The main purpose of this one is to design the reports or simply data visualization. And SSAS is to SQL Server analysis services. The main motto of this one is to analyze the data. Right. MSBI, yes, please. To analyze the data using multi-dimensional model or else tabular model. We are going to discuss both the things, multi-dimensional model and tabular model. These two are the different way of presentation of the data in SSAS. Want me to increase the font? Okay, no problem. Yes. Now guys, so SSA, SSIS, SSRS, and SSAS. These three are the three different tools under one roof called Microsoft Business Intelligence. Right? Right. Sir, how do I get them? How do I install them in my local machine? Sir, when you install SQL Server, that's the meaning of the first two S. SS means SQL Server. When you install SQL Server, you will be getting everything into your local machine. So, MSBI is a built-in component of your SQL Server. During the installation of the SQL Server, it prompts you, hey, would you like to have these three tools into your machines? You just need to check them. And then you will be having all these three tools in our local machine. Yes? Yeah? Right. See, I just trying to explain what are the tools available in our MSBI. Yeah? See, under MSBI, we have SSIS. The full form of SSIS is SQL Server Integration Services. Integration. The main motto of this particular tool is to perform data integration operation. We also call it as ETL. We discussed it yesterday. Please provide me your email ID so that I can share the recording session. Yeah, it was just a theory part, right? Yes. And then don't feel that you missed or something like it. It was just introduction part. Yeah, right. And the next tool is SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services, just like our Power BI. The main motto of Power BI is to visualize the data, right? Before Power BI, we have a reporting tool from Microsoft Corporation that is SSRS. Before Power BI means, don't we have that here now? Yes, we do have. We have both the tools under one roof called Microsoft. One is SSRS and Power BI. And third one is SQL Server Analysis Services. You can analyze the data by using two different models. One is multi-dimensional model and tabular model. Now you got some information? Yes, right. Sir, now I want to start SSIS. I want to start SSIS. Sir, as far as institute, this is our second demo. As far as my case, it's a continuation session of our previous one. Okay, chalo then. Sir, I want to start SSIS. So SSIS means SQL Server Integration Services, right? I want to start with SSIS architecture. Sir, in many cases, if you go for interview, people start with SSIS architecture. Hey, can you please explain the core components of SSIS? What are the core components of SSIS? Core components of SSIS. What are the core components of SSIS? Number one, SSIS runtime engine. And second one, data flow pipeline engine. These two are the two different engines we have. Yes, Amma? Let me elaborate that. Sir, if you want me to explain in detail about these two tools, engines, I need to give some background. What do you mean the background? Okay. We'll be revisiting them. Let me talk about the background. If I don't give the background, definitely you won't understand the concept. Right? Chalo. Sir, what do you mean by background? Versions of SQL Server. Sir, when I say versions of SQL Server, that in turn covers versions of MSBI as well, because MSBI is built-in component of our SQL Server. If you are talking something about this, it internally covers this one as well. Right. Right. Sir, versions of SQL Server means SQL Server 2000. And here we used to create DTS packages. And the file extension was DTS. What do you mean by DTS? File extension was DTS, right? Data Transformation Services. A service which transforms the business data from unstructured to fully structured. Which transforms the business data. A service which transforms the business data from unstructured or semi-structured to fully structured format. Raw data to fully formatted data. Right. Starting from SQL Server 2005, Microsoft has released the total MSBI stack that includes SSIS. In SSIS, the package extension was DTSX. Right. నాకు వాళ్ళు నేను చెప్పుకుని పోవట్లేదు కదా రైట్ that is important అండి see this session is for you guys not for me so 2005 8 R2 release to version this is 12 this is 14 16 and 17 different SQL Server versions I am talking about right starting from 2005 this was the first MSBI stack version right that's where exactly my career has started that was in the year of mid of 2006 right now guys sir here the file extension was DTS starting from 2005 it is DTSX what is the difference between these two right sir XLSX what is the difference between these two what is the difference between these two amma this is
extension.
No, dear, extension is okay, but yeah, this is yeah, this is 97 to 2003 version Excel, 97 to 2003 version, and this is starting from 2007 onwards, 7 onwards. So that is how Microsoft works. X means extension of the previous version. You are right, but how do we define it? Its extension means X stands for extension only. But if you add this, that makes more sense, right? And then if you see DOCX, this is MS Word 97 to 2003 version, and this is starting from 2007 onwards. Are we good now? Yes. So in SSIS, the file extension is .dtsx. Data transformation services, extension of the previous version. Yes or no? Right. Next one. Next one. Sir, I want to write C# coding and where do you write the C# coding? Where do we write the C# coding?
Visual Studio.
Visual Studio. I want to write stored procedures in SQL Server. Where do we write the stored procedure? SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server lo write. SQL Server Management lo raste that stores in SQL Server. Yeah, right. I want to go for, yeah, please.
Raji,
Edi. Guys, go on mute, Amma, please. It's recording. Right. I want to write Oracle queries, packages. Packages. We use Toad for Oracle. Yes. I want to write Java code, Eclipse. What are these things, Amma? Visual Studio, SQL Server Management Studio, and then Toad for Oracle and Eclipse. What are these things? What we call them as? Amma? IDE. IDE, integrated development environments. We simply call it as environments. Power BI desktop. Power BI desktops. We simply call it as IDEs, integrated development environments. Emma, what is the IDE for MSBI? We listed out other things, but what is the IDE for MSBI? What editor, what environment helps you in designing SSIS packages, SSRS reports, SSAS, tabular models, and multidimensional models? That's where exactly. MSBI, for MSBI, we need to install SQL Server data tools, which is a component of Visual Studio. First, Visual Studio is a wrapper. In that, you can see so many projects like .NET, web applications, Windows applications, SQL Server, VC++, like Visual C++, and then MSBI. So one tool supports multiple things. That is where exactly Visual Studio will come into the picture. For Visual Studio, you have to plug in SQL Server data tools. We simply call it as SSDT, SQL Server data tools from tomorrow onwards. Emma, right? Chalo. Sir, I'm going to open SSDT now, right? And then we can discuss these 2 points in elaborative way. Okay? Chalo then. So Visual Studio 2017, I'm going to use, right? Come on. Yes, it's open now. These are all the different projects which I have been using for my current batches and previous batches and okay, right. Leave them. I just want to create a new project. File new project. No, Rama, I can't remember such a long flow. You have a simplest way. Create new project. Yes, both are same. Let us click on this. Yes. Sir, what are the MSBI tools? SSIS, SSRS, and SSAS. Okay. Yesterday we discussed theoretically. Now I just want to show you practically. Right. Sir, this is the business intelligence integration services. Mama ji, yesterday we discussed something. What is the main motto of SSIS? What is the main motto of SSIS? What is the main motto of SSIS? Data integration and ETL operations. Yes or no? All right. SSIS project. This project may be used for building high performance data integration and then ETL activities for our data warehousing system. Yes, sir. So SSIS integration services is an ETL tool or data integration tool. Are we good now? Right. Sir, what are these two? When do we go with these two? Sir, when I select integration services project, I can see 3 types of projects, right? This is what we select. Then when did we go with these two? Why Microsoft has implemented these two things as well? Right. Integration Services Project Azure enabled, we call it as ADL. Have you ever seen that outside? ADL. We have so many words, right? Azure Data Factory, ETL on cloud, ETL on cloud, and this is ETL on premise. Okay, right. See that now. Azure Data Factory. It's a different course altogether. Lift and shift SSIS packages and execute them on cloud. That's where exactly integration services project Azure enabled option will come into the picture. Right? Right. We never go with this option. Why? Why can't we go ahead with this option? Integration services import package wizard. See, wizard has its own limitations, Sandy. That is only forever training purpose, and we never use it in training as well. I never recommend that because if you don't use it in real time, what is the point of learning? And moreover, it has its own limitations, right? Right. So this is the project which I am going to select now. Repeat the step now. Create new project. Integration service, business intelligence, integration services project now. So SSIS morning, 8 a.m. What is the date today? May 5th. Okay. So you are trying to create the project now. This is how it looks like, guys. Let this particular toolbox load. Now see, what is the package extension? What is the file extension? DTSX. That is what I have given the background. We have already discussed that. Right? Okay. Next. What is this one? Koncham gettiga. Package. Sir, I want to go for a vacation, Amma. Right? I want to start from Hyderabad, Hyderabad to Chennai, Chennai to Kodaikanal, Kodaikanal to Ooty, Ooty to Coorg, Coorg to Bangalore, Bangalore to Mysore, Mysore to Bangalore, Bangalore to Hyderabad. Right? So now it's like a circular journey. So when you go for alone, you go for a package. Your package includes multiple locations. Each location has its own significance. Yes, sir? In the same way, my package includes the functionality of all these 5 tabs. Control flow, data flow, parameters, event handlers, package explorers. Yes, Amma? Right. Sarji, where are we now? Where are we now? Don't say class or something. Where are we now? Control flow. Koncham confident ga cheppamma. Right? Both aithe nenu ananu kada. Right? Please. Control flow. Right? Sir, now come back. The first feature. All control flow activities takes care by SSIS runtime engine. SSIS runtime engine handles all the activities of both control flow and event handler. Right. Now see. Handles all. I'll transfer this entire. I'll upload this to your Google Drive. Yes. All the activities of both control flow and event handlers of a package. Are we good on this? No, you are not. Because what do you mean by activity? What kind of activities that you handle on daily basis? When you go for interview, this is my role. Okay. As part of your role, what do you do? What are how do you start your day? How do you end up your day? Right? So now, what do you mean by activity? Sir, in a 24 hours of a time, we do so many activities. Having tea, having food, watching TV, sleeping. These are the different activities that we perform in a 24 hours of a time. Yes or no? In the same way, task is nothing but an activity. It's a toolbox, right? It's a toolbox, SSIS toolbox. Unfortunately, it is closed. How do I get that? Right click on design canvas, SSIS. Right. So, sending a mail to a business user saying that Today, package executed successfully. It's an activity. Only please. Yes. వీడు ఎస్ఆర్ నువ్వు చెప్పేదాకా వదిలేటట్టు లేదు అని అనుకుంటుంది. బి ఇంటరాక్టివ్, రైట్? బి ఇంటరాక్టివ్. నేను నీకు నిన్న కూడా అదే చెప్పాను. ప్లీజ్ లెట్స్ మేక్ మోర్ ఇంటరాక్టివ్. నేనేదో చెప్పుకుంటూ పోవటం, మీరేదో వినటం, దట్ డజంట్ లుక్ గుడ్. ఓకేనా? ఎస్, ప్లీజ్ మేక్ ఇట్ మోర్ ఇంటరాక్టివ్. లేకపోతే నిద్ర వస్తుంది మార్నింగ్, రైట్? యా, సీరియస్లీ. Right. See here now, sending a mail, right? Notification mail to the business users or support team is an activity, task. We see so many tasks, Amma. Each task has its own functionality. I want to execute a SQL statement. Select star from employee table, select star from department table. We know so many queries, right? Execute SQL task. Right? Right. And then I want to execute a package within a package. Can we call a function within a function? Yes, function calls the same way. A package calls another package. How do we do that?
Excuse me, Balaji. This is
Yeah.
Pradeep here. Can you please repeat the question that was asked in the classroom, and also please adjust your mic so that any movements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the voice is dropping, like it's breaking up. So
Okay,
if you can adjust the mic, that would
definitely
be appreciated.
Definitely. I'm
Thank
taking
you.
your things right. Right. So the first thing is you want me to repeat what I explained over here, right?
In the classroom, the people are asking questions, right? You may want to repeat the question for the people who are
Oh, yeah,
connected
right.
online.
Definitely. Yeah, right. Definitely. No, I'm asking the question. No one is answering here, right? I'm asking the question for myself and then answering myself, actually. Question and answer for myself, right? Right. See, what my question was here. How do I send a mail to the business user using SSIS, send mail task? Sending a mail to the business user is an activity, is a task. So how do we do that? How do you achieve that using SSIS, send mail task? How do you execute a stored procedure using SSIS? Execute SQL task, right? I have a batch file, right? I want to execute a batch file using execute process task, right? So I want to do some files under directory operations, file system task. So every task has its own significance. Are we good, guys? Online guys? Are we good, Amma?
Yes.
Right. Next one. So control flow and event handler contains tasks. What do you mean by task? A unit of work which can be executed individually. Individually or as part of the package. What does it mean? Right. Sir, I want to add few tasks to the design surface. Just drag and drop it. Come on. First time it takes little longer. Right. So how many tasks we have in our package? 2 tasks. Right. Sir, I want to execute only this particular task, sir. Right click on this, execute the task. So you are trying to execute only one task out of many. Right click on the task, select an option called execute task. Come on, yes. That's what I clearly mentioned. A task can be executed individually or else the task can be executed as part of the package. I'm going to execute the whole package now. Package, right click, execute package. I'll explain you all these steps, Amma. Don't worry. Yes, all 2 tasks were executed successfully. Are we good on this point, guys?
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Right. Sir, that is the meaning of this particular statement. If you have any questions on this particular statement, I'm happy to answer them. Any questions? It's finished. When it is showing green color, one of our friend was asking, is that activity completed? Yes, it's completed. We haven't defined any activity, my dear. It's a dummy task, right? Yes. It's a dummy task where you don't have any functionality, right? Right. Because it's too early to discuss about the functionalities. That's the reason I haven't added anything, right? Okay. Right. And next one, sir. Next one. Along with tasks, we have containers as well. Right? Right. Sir, I'll write something, sir. For I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I is equal to I plus 1. Hey, what is this? ఎప్పుడో ఎక్కడో చదువుకున్నట్టుంది కదా. Right. Right. A is equal to int A is equal to right. I'll write this statement at outside. Int A is equal to 0. Now, guys, A is equal to A plus I. Print A. Right. Sir, this is a for loop. Yes or no? If you want to iterate specific statements for a fixed number of times, then we go for what? Containers. This is like a container containing two different statements. Yes or no? So can we consider it as a task 1 and a task 2? Yes or no? Task 1 means you are doing some activity. It's like a task 1, right? And this is like a task 2. These two tasks are containing in a container called for loop container. We all 4 are containing in a container called room number 504 or something. Yavandi, please. Yes, okay. Right. So now see, you have 3 types of containers: for loop container, for each loop container, and sequence container. Chalo guys, this is very much similar to programming language. Yes, okay, chalo. For I is equal to 0, what we call it as? I is equal to 0, what we call it as? Initialization, not the task. Task is our story IPN, right? I is equal to 0 is initialization. I less than 10. Condition must be evaluated. I is equal to I plus 1. Increment. Much fair running. Right? Right. Increment the value of I by 1 in each and every iteration. You can see the same values: initial expression, evaluate expression, and assign expression is nothing but increment. Are we good? Online guys, are we good?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
fine.
Right. So this is like a container. It contains other tasks on it. Container. Right. Friends, tell me one thing. Right. I'm from 401 flat. My flat is 401. Do you think my flat is only one room, or else it's been partitioned into multiple rooms? Multiple rooms. Every room has its own functionality. In the same way, your control flow functionality will be divided into multiple containers. Each container has its own functionality. Okay, let me tell you that. Right. So container 1, container 2, container 3, and container 4. Whatever you implement, it doesn't matter. Meer hall edaina pettukondi. I don't like, I'm least bothered. But it's like a room. So in the same way, we have 4 different functionalities in our control flow. You divided the control flow functionality into multiple blocks with the help of containers. Container contains related tasks. Am I clear? Please? All right. Sir, can we use a container within a container? Can we use a for loop within a for loop? Yes, for A of ij is equal to B of ij plus C of ij. What is that? What is that? What is that? A of ij is equal to B of ij plus C of ij. Matrix summation and matrix summation. Right. So we can use a for loop within a for loop. We can use a container within a container. Right. Right. So container divides the control flow functionality into multiple segments. Are we good on this point? Online guys, are we good on this point, Amma?
Yes, Balaji.
All right. Very nice. Next one. Right. Sir, go back. That's the reason I explained the total background only. If I explain we have control flow, data flow on air, you can't understand it. Yeah. So remove everything. Sir, tell me now, where are we now? Control flow. I want to navigate to data flow only. It is scrolling. Hey, you are trying to enter into the theater without having ticket. It's a violation. You are trying to enter into the theater without having ticket. No data flow tasks have been added to this package. Click here to add data flow task. That means, what is the conclusion? If you want to navigate from control flow to data flow, what task do you need to take into the consideration? Is clearly stating that, my dear friend, data flow task. Data flow task helps us in navigating from control flow to data flow. I'm stopping you. Hey, you are not holding the right ticket. Go and get the ticket now. So I'm not allowing you to get into the theater. So what is the prerequisite to get into the theater? Ticket. In the same way, what is the prerequisite to navigate from control flow to data flow? Data flow task. Am I going fast? Am I going fast? Online guys, am I going fast?
No.
No, sir, we are good. We are
See, you add the data flow task. You add the data flow task. One is fine. Again, one more question will rise. Do we need to have two? No, not required. Right. Now navigating here. It is happily navigating from control flow to data flow. Yes, Amma. Right. Hey, there is a change in the toolbox. Earlier, when we were in control flow, the toolbox content was tasks and containers. But at the moment when you navigate from control flow to data flow, the toolbox has been changed. Okay. Right. Guys, observe here. This is Krishna River. Do you think Krishna River water is directly coming to my home? No. No. Right. In the same way. Do you think Krishna River water is ready to drink? It's raw water. It has so many impurities. Right? Okay. Now, in between these two, we apply reservoir. Right? How Krishna river water comes to reservoir? Through Wi-Fi? No, Wi-Fi. Right, right. Now, we use pipeline. Yes, Amma? What flows over here? What flows in the pipeline? Water. Sir, this is my source data, which is raw data. Right? And this is my destination, where I maintain the fully formatted structure. Right? Right. So this is the raw data, same as raw water. How are we getting the data from source system to your destination? Through a pipeline. Right? Here we are trying to apply transformations and then loading the data into the destination. Yes, sir? Sir, here, what is flowing here? Water. What is flowing here? What is flowing here? Data. You are done, my dear friends. Data flow pipeline engine, a pipeline where the data flows from source to transformation to destination. Right? Yeah, you are done now. Sources. from where we try to extract the business data. See, sources. Use one or more data flow sources to extract the data from files or else like databases. If you remember in our last session, Hyderabad details were in Excel, right? Bangalore details were in Oracle, and then some other Chennai details were in DB2. So we have the data in file systems and databases. So you can connect and extract the data from any file system or else a database. Yes, right. The extracted data must be transformed. Use the data flow transformations to modify the business data as per your requirement. Right? And finally, use one or more data flow destinations. In destination, what do? Loading operation. So we extract the business data E, we transform the business data T, we load the data into the destination system so T. Now tell me guys, what it contains? What it contains, Amma? What it contains? Data flow sources, where we perform the extraction of the business data. Next, data flow transformations, where we modify the business data. Extracted business data must be modified by using transformations. And finally, data flow, destinations, where we load the business data, load the processed business data, transformed business data, processed or transformed. Okay. Online guys, clear, Amma? All of you guys clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right, Amma. Right. So that is how these two works basically. So control flow and event handlers are completely handled by SSIS runtime engine, and the data flow activities takes care by data flow pipeline engine. Yes, all right then. I would like to open material. Where are you? In desktop, inbound files, packages, daddy for documents. My son has created that, right? And then SSIS. This is your total material. Yeah. Yeah. Sir, this is SSIS architect diagram. It's very, very important, sir. It's very, very important. Right. Sir, if you see here, this is totally SSIS architecture. This yellow portion is completely talking about integration services runtime, SSIS runtime. Yes, where you can see different types of tasks and a container. Container is having tasks again. Are we good now? Yes, right. It also, this component also handles event handler as well. That is what I clearly mentioned over here. Control flow and event handlers. All right. Next one, data flow task. Sir, the moment when the data flow task occurs, immediately control jump to data flow, where you can see data flow sources, data flow transformations, and data flow destinations. I'll try to design it. Sir, currently where are we now? Data flow tab. Yeah, right. Sir, go to here. Let us use OLEDB source from where we extract the business data. Come on. Right. Morning. Oh, okay. Yeah. That too cloudy. Yeah, I can understand. Yeah. And commonly used transformation, sir. derived column, some other transformation, right? And finally, loading the data into the destination system, source, transformation, and destination. Sir, but how the source data comes to transformation? Pipeline. There should be a pipeline, right? We can see two pipelines, Sandy, blue and red. Blue pipeline talks about valid data, right? Red pipeline talks about invalid data, right? See, for a dishwasher or else a washing machine, you can see two pipelines. One is in and the second one is the drain water. Same concept. Pipeline from source to transformation, from here to here. Only. So this is extraction, transformation, and loading. And these are the data flow pipelines where the data flows from upstream to downstream, from source to destination via transformation. Now, what is your question? Drag and drop. The moment when you select here, you can see two things now. You simply drag and drop it. The moment when you select, you can see two pipelines. The moment you select, you can see only one pipeline. After destination, you can't proceed with anything until and unless when it fails, you can capture failed records. Right? Being a support guy, L2, L3 production support guy, you should understand what record is causing the issue exactly. Your manager is bugging you like anything. Hey, your package got failed. I want to know the reason within 15 to 20 minutes. How do you identify the root cause within 15 to 20 minutes? So you need to capture all these log data. Yes, right. So that is the total end-to-end SSIS architecture. Right, guys, what about this one then? Connection manager, right? Connection manager, right? Sir, this one connection manager. Emma, right? Sir, connection manager. Sir, I'm in Hyderabad and my parents are from Yellow. I call them. For example, I dial them now. Connection has been established. Conversation is going on between myself and my parents. Who provided the connectivity between myself, who is sitting in Hyderabad, and my parents sitting in Yellow? Who provided that? Do you think first, is there any wire between Hyderabad and Yellow? No wire. So do you think it's a logical or physical? Logical. Okay. Who provided the logical connectivity between two different people sitting in two different locations? Signal. Network providers. Who are all providers available in India? Airtel, yeah, network provider. In the same way, provider provides the connectivity between any two applications and file systems or database. Into lengthy statement, I'll write it over here. Yes, I'll write it over here. Next one is connection manager. Guys, listen. Connection manager. Connection manager is a logical connectivity between any application, Java, .NET, mainframe, any application and database or file system. What does it mean? I'll write an example and connection manager for SQL Server. I want to connect to SQL Server, Amma. What things must be provided? First one. Data source. Data source means server name. Initial catalog. Database name. As you said, provider. What is the driver or a provider which can establish the connectivity between my SSIS application and Excel file sitting in the US, right? So now, or else in a data center, right? Provider. What is the default provider for SQL Server? NCLI 11.0. Hey, what is that? SQL Server native client. NCLI means native client. N means native, CLI means client, and version is 11.0, which is a default provider or driver for SQL Server. Guys, getting the things? No, it's a version, provider version. I'll show you that. Right click here to add a new connection manager to the SSIS package. Right click. OLEDB connection. I want to create a new connection, guys. I want to create a new connection. I haven't selected any connection. By default, you can see SQL Server native client. Emma, that is the default provider for our SQL Server. Let me provide the server name. My server name is this one. This is my server name. You copy that, paste, and I can select any table. Connection has been established. Who provided the connectivity between my server sits in US in the data center Virginia, and then my system, my application, SSIS application in ODC 5 Hyderabad, right? By using a provider. So provider provides the connectivity between application and the database. Can be clear? Now this is how it looks like. Data source is equal to server name. Initial catalog is equal to database name. Provider is equal to SQL Server native client 11.0 or 1 is also fine, guys. Are we good, Amma? Online guys, are we good, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Others not happy?
Clear, sir.
Right, Amma. Yeah. So that is about the total end-to-end SSIS architecture ending. So you can't understand all these enumerators, logs, and all that at this point because it's too early to discuss, right? Yeah. So I'm done for the day. I'm happy to hear anything from you guys. I'm going to stop the recording. If you have any questions, please shoot out.